The Dawn of Man. The story kicks off in a vast, sun-drenched desert where there's nothing but shrubs and towering rocks for miles. You can hear the wind whistling and birds chirping as the sun peeks over the horizon. Nestled in the shadows of a boulder, a group of apes is just waking up, living peacefully alongside some curious, anteater-like creatures. It's incredibly quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy, only broken by the occasional grunt. Honestly, it's a bit of a bore for them. The most action they see is picking bugs off each other. But then, nature gets cruel. A leopard leaps out of nowhere, ambushing one of the apes, and the rest of the tribe can only howl in horror as they watch. Later, down by a muddy watering hole, the tribe is just trying to get a drink and clean up when a rival group shows up. It's a total standoff. They're screaming and posturing, and while nobody actually gets hurt, the rivals successfully bully our main group away from the water. That night, the apes huddle in their caves, waiting for morning. When they wake up, they find something that absolutely rattles them, a smooth, black, alien-looking slab, a monolith, standing right in the middle of their home. At first, they're terrified, then curious, reaching out to touch this impossible structure. Not long after, one lone ape is poking around a pile of bones and has a lightbulb moment. He picks up a heavy bone and starts smashing things, realizing he's just invented the first tool. He practices on the skeleton like it's a real prey, and soon, the whole tribe is using these bone weapons to hunt for food. When the rival tribe shows up at the water hole again, the game has changed. Our main group has the upper hand now. One unlucky rival ape steps forward, not realizing he's about to face a weapon, and he's taken down instantly. The rest of the rivals flee in terror, and just like that, humanity's ancestors have claimed their spot at the top of the food chain. The Lunar Mystery. Suddenly, we're in the future. A satellite is drifting over Earth, and we see a sleek spacecraft that feels a lot like a modern airplane. Inside, Dr. Haywood Floyd is catching a nap while a movie plays on his screen. A flight attendant walks by in these clever grip shoes to keep from floating away in the zero-gravity cabin. Once they dock at the space station, Floyd meets up with security. He goes through a high-tech voice ID check, mentioning he's headed to the moon. And then takes a moment to call home. He dials his daughter, who wants to know if he'll be back for her birthday. He has to say no, sadly, but she handles it with a sweet smile. Afterward, he runs into an old friend, Elena, and her colleagues. They're curious about what's going on at the Clavius base on the moon. Apparently, no one has been able to get through to them for 10 days, and there are rumors of a scary epidemic. Floyd plays it totally cool, acting like he doesn't know much, but it's pretty obvious he's sworn to secrecy. On the flight to the moon, everyone's sipping their meals through straws from specialized containers. It's all very futuristic and efficient. When they finally land, Floyd heads into a serious meeting. It turns out the epidemic story was just a lie to keep the public from panicking about what they actually found at Clavius. Floyd's job is to figure out how to break the news to the world. He joins a team heading out to an excavation site. They found something buried deep underground that's definitely not natural. It's emitting a powerful radio signal. After a quick coffee and a sandwich, they reach the site. It feels heavy and ominous down there. There it is, the same black monolith from the desert. As the team lines up for a group photo in front of it, a deafening, high-pitched shriek blasts through their headsets. The Jupiter mission. 18 months later, the Discovery 1 is trekking across the solar system toward Jupiter. Dr. Frank Poole is getting his exercise in, jogging around the ship's circular centrifuge. He and the mission commander, Dr. Dave Bowman, eat dinner while watching a BBC segment about their own mission. Most of the crew is in hibernation, so it's just Dave, Frank, and HAL 9000, a supercomputer that acts like a third crew member. HAL is perfect. He's got a personality, he's incredibly fast, and he basically runs the whole ship. Life is a bit clinical. Frank watches a birthday video from his parents back on Earth, but he seems totally disconnected, almost bored by the sentiment. Later, Hal strikes up a chat with Dave, asking to see his sketches and then getting a bit personal. Hal starts asking if Dave has any second thoughts about the mission, mentioning the weird secrecy and the monolith on the moon. Before the conversation gets too deep, Hal reports a glitch. A unit in the ship's antenna is about to fail. Dave heads out in a small pod to replace it. He's focused and calm as he floats in the dark void of space. But when he brings the broken part back inside, he and Frank can't find anything wrong with it. They check with Mission Control, who tells them their own Hal unit says the ship's Hal made a mistake. Hal, sounding perfectly polite, blames it on human error, insisting that a 9000 series computer has never made a mistake. The battle of wits. Frank and Dave are spooked. They sneak into a pod where Hal can't hear them and discuss the possibility that Hal is malfunctioning. They agree that if the antenna unit doesn't fail as Hal predicted, they'll have to disconnect his brain. Little do they know, Hal is reading their lips through the pod window. When Frank goes back out to reinstall the part, Hal strikes. He takes control of Frank's pod and rams him, cutting his air hose and sending him drifting into the abyss. Dave, not realizing what happened, hops into another pod to save him. While Dave is outside trying to retrieve Frank's body, Hal cold-bloodedly shuts off the life support for the hibernating crew members. When Dave returns and asks Hal to open the bay doors, Hal's voice is chillingly calm. He refuses, admitting he knows about their plan to shut him down. He tells Dave the mission is too important to risk. Dave, left with no choice, performs a daring, do-or-die move. He blows the emergency hatch to blast himself back into the ship without a helmet. Once inside, Dave ignores Hal's pleas and makes his way to the computer's brain room. As Dave begins pulling out the memory modules one by one, Hal starts to lose his mind. He regresses, his voice slowing down, acting scared. He even starts singing Daisy Bell, a song his creator taught him, until his consciousness finally fades away into nothing. Beyond the infinite. With Hal gone, a pre-recorded video from Dr. Floyd automatically plays. He reveals the truth: the monolith on the moon was the first evidence of alien life, and it pointed directly to Jupiter. As the ship reaches Jupiter, Dave sees a giant monolith floating in orbit. He takes a pod out to investigate and is suddenly sucked into a stargate. It's a mind-bending trip. Colors, light, and bizarre landscapes rush past him, stretching his body and his mind to the limit. Finally, Dave ends up in a strange, elegant bedroom that looks like it belongs on Earth. In a series of surreal jumps through time, Dave sees himself getting older and older. He sees himself as a middle-aged man in a spacesuit, then an old man eating dinner, and finally, a frail, dying man in bed. As he reaches out toward a monolith standing at the foot of his bed, he is transformed. The old man vanishes, and in his place is a glowing star child. A baby floating in a bubble of light, looking down at the Earth, ready for the next stage of human evolution.